this is Kia.
Hey, I'm MJ, and welcome to this week's episode of Dude, No Way. Today we have a special guest. If you want to introduce yourself, a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Jaden.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, we thought this was a great episode for Jaden to hop on because he's finishing his last couple months of high school. And then we just finished college, so it's like I don't know, it's a perfect like 4 year like gap or whatever, almost 5.
Hi.
But no, yeah, just for the stuff that we're going to talk about. I think it's a good transition for like high school to college. So we just want to get a young insight. I don't know. I feel old.
A younger person's perspective.
Right.
Just 5 years, just 5 years different.
Oh my God, stop. I feel
Yeah,
old.
but yeah, then I also feel like not that like there's such a big difference between being 5 years older, but I feel like your generation, I mean, technically it's in the same generation, but your experience at your age, like in 2020, is so much different than us being seniors in 2016, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure true. Pandemic really hit it hard, made a difference.
Oh yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, we want to just first focus on like working in high school. Personally, I don't have experience working in high school, but I know like that struggle is real, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because I did work in high school. I think I started junior year. Started working at Starbucks.
Yeah, you were one of my first friends that had a job, and I don't know, we were like, you were always busy and stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's I don't know. I'm literally speaking from outside and projecting, but I feel like
No,
it'd be
yeah.
hard for someone to have like it affects your social life, and I feel like you need to be the most social senior year.
Mhm.
But I feel like it's a different dynamic being a working student in high school than a working student in college.
I honestly don't know the perspective as like a college student and working, but like for me as like a student as in high school, I would say it's like what you said, it's like, oh, you're less social. You think you'll be less social when honestly, I feel like I've been more social, even though like I'm having online school. Like,
Right.
I feel like I'm more social now compared to like last year because I started working right when I turned 16. I
Oh wow.
got my first job well, it's still the same job, but I started working at Macy's.
Oh
And
wow.
I got laid off in March because of the beginning of the pandemic. Oh, not laid off in March. I stopped working in March because of the pandemic, and then got laid off in like May or June. And it was kind of hard
Hmm.
because it was like, oh, I was thinking of more of ahead of like working in like college, like getting transferred and stuff like that. But I was able to get my job back. So yeah.
That's
Congrats.
good.
I was like, must be nice. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know how, like, a lot of retail went back for, I don't know, essential reasons. I don't know what that means.
Literally, someone today was like, "Oh, aren't you like considered an essential worker?" I'm like, "Not really." And they're talking about like the vaccine, and I'm like, um, theoretically, I don't get the vaccine until I'm like the last person to get the vaccine, technically, because I'm a minor, and like,
Same. I think we'd be grouped into like the same thing. I'm like, not a minor, not
I was
not
about to
same thing, but
say.
minor. But I think yeah, because I know my parents are gonna get them for being like little in healthcare, like physically in healthcare, and then old people were like definitely first, seemed to be first, and then yeah, like I don't know, middle people were just like gonna be randomly grouped in together. I feel like ages like 15 to like 30 or something.
yeah. But then what he was talking about was like, oh, grocery store people are getting the vaccine and stuff like that. And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I don't really consider myself as an essential worker since
Yeah.
it's just clothes. But then he was like saying, well, you've been here since like Black Friday and like you've had to deal with so many people compared to like others. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, I don't really see it.
And I work in the healthcare industry, and somehow I'm able to get the vaccine even though I'm working from home. So I've already gotten the first one. I got the Moderna one. But yeah, it's just crazy how there are people who are actually like being face to face and they're not one of like the first few people to like get access to the vaccine. But I don't know if it's like different with every state. That's why, because with my job, I constantly have people asking me like, "Oh, what's the update on the vaccines?" And I'm like, unfortunately, like there's no updates because I don't know if I'm allowed to tell them that people internal in healthcare are able to get the vaccine beforehand.
I don't know if we still want to talk about working in high school.
Oh.
um,
Um,
it's hard. It's honestly hard.
I bet, because I feel like one of the reasons I didn't work in high school is because I was like already overwhelmed with academics. I like to focus on my academics because I always get put too much on my plate anyways. So like props to people who do it like you guys. I just couldn't, like, I just couldn't handle all that moving around so much and not focus because I already procrastinate. Like, how the hell was I going to finish assignments? But people do it all the time.
let me think. I'm trying to think back. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that, not to like hype myself up, but like how I was able to do it, because I wasn't the best at school, but like I was able to balance like work, academic things, because I would have like the 4:30 to 8:30 shift at Starbucks. So we would usually get out of school like what, 2:30.
Yeah.
So I'd have like an hour to like how we would chill out outside in the schoolyard, just like hang out with you guys and be like, okay, I gotta go catch the bus to work. So I feel like I was able to kind of balance the social, academics, and work life. And like even during summer 2016, when I was working at Starbucks and I had that internship, how I was still able to like hang out with you, MJ, and like also see like Gabby. So like I really don't know how I did it, but it was a good work environment too. Like I loved my coworkers. It's definitely one of my favorite jobs that I've had. But yeah, good experience for me.
I think, sorry, with that being said, you should hype yourself up because you were always like on your shit. Like, you were like, okay, I have to leave now. Like, the bus is going to take this long. Like, I don't know. You literally made it happen. Like, obviously, you
Yeah.
graduated and then, like, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for working students. I only did it for 4 years and that was enough for me.
No, yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, for me right now, it was shocking because I'm gonna be honest, I'm working more hours compared to I was working last year. And I actually worked because last year I started working in December, so like the start of like holiday season, technically.
Nice.
But then this year I started in October and I was easing into it, but like it was a bit easier for me, I guess, because I had that experience. But what was harder was just having to do online school in the same time of doing working, because just it was just having that time management and just also having that mental state as well. Because for me, I was struggling in general because I was not confused. Oh my gosh. I was stressed about my grades and like I had like two C's or like three C's at one point. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get in college. I start freaking out and just overthinking things.
Yeah.
But then I'm ending with my highest GPA, so which was shocking.
Wow.
Dude, look at you.
Who
Yeah,
are you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird. Like my GPA, like freshman year was like a 3.2. Now my senior year, 3.7.
I could never.
So what you're saying is working makes your grades better.
What you're
I mean,
saying, you're a
That's the correlation.
valedictorian.
I'm just saying.
I
Oh,
think honestly, probably because it makes you think about it makes you think more honestly and constantly as well. And you just have to be into it if you know what I mean.
But I do get it. And definitely props to you for online school, because if it were me in that situation, I already struggle with time management as it is. So I felt like having like in-person school and be like, okay. And plus I would get to school hella early in the morning. So I knew that would be like dedicated time. If I wasn't able to finish my homework the night before, I'd have that like dedicated hour and a half in the morning to like get all my shit done. But with online classes, I definitely wouldn't be like you. I'd be like failing every class. I don't
Like,
even know
yeah.
how I did it for my senior year of college, but yeah, props to you.
I mean, like, I think what's harder, well, easier for me now, is my school's doing a block schedule now, just
That's what we
so it's
had.
even. But then what would have been harder if I was in school was the extracurriculars on top of it, because I'm a theater kid, band kid, cheerleader, like news person, and like I'm in so many extracurriculars that having a job was kind of hard. But then I was able to have that time and just those moments of relaxation as well, because those are very important.
Your
Now that
me time, your mental time.
me
Yeah,
time,
definitely.
I like what you said about that. I don't know. It keeps. I think what you're trying to say was like it kept you in your momentum, like, and the fact
yeah.
and like the fact that your energy was like high and that you liked what you were doing, it just made you want to keep doing everything on your plate, you know. So
And I kind of think I get it from my mother, is because like she says it herself. She can't. Oh my gosh, she can't stop. If you know what I mean. Like she has to keep doing something,
I see
or she
that.
gets so bored that it's just even worse than boredom. If you know what I mean. I don't know.
No, I
Yeah.
know a lot of people like that. They just like can't sit still. They're or like even when they're on vacation or something, they like check their email or something because they feel like vacation's like boring to them. They want to get back to something more exciting, even though I don't know, it's weird. But that's I don't know. I guess that's a good quality to have when you need it, you know. When you
When
need
you
it.
need it. When you need it. Oh my.
Quote when you need it.
Oh my.
Literally today, I've been told I looked so bored because I'm like during work. It's because um my manager is typically like the person telling me to do what like a lot of the stuff, because I feel like I'm my manager's assistant basically. I like go in early or I just stay really late. Totally not like I did a 12-hour shift on Black Friday.
Definitely not. No one who would do that. Not me.
Not
Not me.
her.
Not me. Not me. But I mean, it was just nice to be like a manager's assistant kind of,
Mhm.
because it's like he relies on me on things also, and then everyone else relies on me because I'm it's also like I'm the supervisor to everyone else, even though I've been there for like a year. But
Okay,
yeah.
flex.
Oh wow.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're flexing because you're an overachiever and a workaholic.
Ah. I
No,
just
no. I
honestly
mean,
need
it's
to keep
good.
going. I just need to keep going, if you know,
Yeah,
keep that momentum. I feel students who are in high school are kind of either working because they want to get themselves out of their own places. Because I know some people don't feel safe in their own home. And
yeah.
there's also people who are working because their parents either got fired or like they're the income of their family now. So I feel because of COVID, teenagers just work more than they want to, honestly. And I feel it's just them being social as their way of being social, because with working for me now, I kind of grown in a way to talking with like adults and also just like people my age also. So yeah.
Definitely. And I think, sorry, uh, with my job now, I'm definitely talking to um, a lot more older people, and I'm like realizing the kind of like language that I use is definitely more different. Like I can't like they can definitely tell that I'm younger, obviously, because I sound like a child. But I'm learning now not to use because I use awesome a lot just because like that's just what I do,
I do too.
and I can't help it now. But so I use words more like oh perfect or absolutely I can definitely help you that, just like things like that. And I had this really nice guy that I talked to that I was helping, and he noted that he says you sound very professional, and I feel like not a lot of young people like talk that way anymore or like um care about us old people. Like I feel like you're definitely taking care of me and I really appreciate that about you. And just like some other nice things, but just like knowing how much the way you talk to people like can actually impact them in a really good way. But yeah, I don't know how that relates, but just talking about how we change our communication styles.
Yeah, I know you figured out how to like it's a really important social skill to like I mean just code switch in general in like so many different scenarios. Like even like there's not just one professional way of speaking. Like the way you talk to a CEO of a company is different than you talk to your boss, like even though they're authorities.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also depends on their age and like honestly weird thing to say but their vibe too. It's like I
No,
don't know,
definitely the
everything
vibe.
matters about how you choose to use your words and in your tones, you know.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like you mentioned like code switching, and I use that a lot. But like
Right, it's so
especially
important.
it's very important with who you're meeting with, especially because I have to deal with customers in person. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on who you're meeting with, and then honestly how scary they look to me. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Looks are so important. Sorry.
And
First
then
impression looks,
also how they
Yeah.
sound like, you gotta match their tone, if you know what I mean. And
Mhm.
then you also just have to do so much, especially with the Karens. The Karens are the
Oh
best.
yeah. If they're aggressive, you're coming at them aggressive.
I feel like another thing that's different between, I don't know why I keep thinking generation, but like your age now in this year and then our age now back in 2016, um, of like the social aspect. Like we kind of talked about it already in like the work social aspect and trying to balance that. But I feel
Yeah.
like even just language changes so fast. Like you guys do things. First of all, okay, it wasn't you, it was my other cousin. Like things like dances, like the whoa was different for us, and then in like 2 years it changed because of TikTok. So I was like,
Yeah, I like the one where you talk.
I like that one better.
I don't get the arm thing. Like, where's my arm supposed to go?
Oh, it's just like a
oh, we're tutting now. Looks like we're just tutting now. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, but like besides dances, even I'm like, I'm worried for the day that I become a boomer. I know boomers a specific generation, but like when I become older and I don't know what slang means anymore. I hope I always keep up on slang because I'll be so sad. Because like I don't know what words do you guys use
No, it's
now?
embarrassing because sometimes I'd be having to look shit up. It's so embarrassing.
No, yeah, on Urban Dictionary. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so as someone who is like as my what am I talking about? As like being a teen now, I don't even get the like slang words we say. I'm like,
It
you
changes a lot.
dumbasses. It changes is like every month, and like
Okay, I thought
why?
it was just me. I thought I was literally out of the loop because I find
No,
new things every day. Twitter's getting so hard to read.
it's just letters instead of just actual words.
Yeah. Those are pretty normal to me, but I feel like maybe it's TikTok culture. Like when I'm on a certain side of TikTok where like I won't get a joke because it's like something that like the kids are doing now in school. Like,
See,
am
I
I
don't.
that out of the loop? I thought it was just me like just not being able to keep up. But the fact that you guys come up with shit like every day is crazy.
I'm just shocked of how popular it gets. Like afterwards.
TikTok's powerful.
Very.
Social media is a big part. Trying to be popular, still a thing.
Like
If you know what I
is like the epitome of being popular, like TikTok viral.
mean. TikTok viral.
Yeah.
TikTok viral. I mean, not with my school. I would say like we're chill. We don't care about each other.
Nice.
But,
No,
Love
like,
love
that.
that.
like, but like, it's weird. We get each other's feelings. It sometimes, but we all just want to go back to school as like seniors class wise is like we all just want to actually see each other even if we haven't even talked to each other like once. Let's just go with hookup culture is a thing.
Ooh.
Okay, I want to know this because I feel like our hookup culture was on the down low and it was very like there was so many gray areas. I don't know the hookup culture of this age, this
So
generation.
I would say hookup culture in my age, like yeah, of course it's on the DL, but like at the same time, almost everyone knows. Shut no.
It's like ooh, DL.
I don't know why I said DL. I
I
know
don't
we
hear
say
that very casually.
okay.
Go off. Go off.
But like my friends, I would say like not my friends, more of like
Your
well,
peers.
peers. They they probably just hooked up with each other or just send things that are very, 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 very
XXX rated.
XXX. But
I feel like people just do it to say they did it. Is that accurate? Like, like, oh my God, guess what I just did? But just to stay relevant or something,
no, honestly, I think they're just horny. Sorry.
Are you kidding?
They literally do it because they're horny.
Wow.
They like don't care at this point. They're like, I'm horny. Let's have sex.
Wow. Y'all
Dude.
bold.
No, yeah, I don't. Okay. Also, it might not just like blaming your school, but it could be like a school environment thing or just like, I don't know, just like based on other people. I don't know. Cause personally,
Yeah.
my cousins still go to high school too. I think they're like a year or two younger than you. And like, they're pretty open with me too. I'm blessed to have like cousins that I can talk to, or that talk to me. But, I don't hear that much,
Well, I
know?
mean, of course,
No.
like I wouldn't say like college people wouldn't know about it, but like I also believe it's because of media. Like people just want to follow who their creators are because they either follow people who just want to have fun and stuff like that, drink, party, do drugs, stuff like that. And I feel
Yeah.
like but social media is a big impact from that, but at the same time, it's also who they're taught by.
No, wait,
Mostly,
that makes so much sense because I feel like everyone, like, I keep seeing, don't get me wrong, I like Emma Chamberlain, even though I'm freaking in my 20s, but
yeah.
then I keep seeing articles about her about how she literally shapes the fashion of people in high school now and like people her age. And I'm just like, one person is that influential on people's fashion. Like, I don't know.
Emma's only like 2 years or 3 years older than me, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's shocking because she's a Bay Area person. She literally went to
Yeah.
she
Somewhere in
lives in San
Palo
Bruno.
Alto or San
No,
Ramon or some shit.
she lives in
Oh,
San Bruno
yeah.
and went to school to oh my god, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And then on one of her recent vlogs, she came back to San Francisco and literally went to Pacifica, and it's like kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I saw that.
It's like weird seeing your own hometown kind of like in a video of someone who's like an influencer or just stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
feel as teenagers now, we want to be the change, especially if you know what I mean. And like we
Change
want
for
to
what?
the
Sorry.
future, like the
Oh,
change
oh.
for like the future and like the change for others as well, because we are the impact on everyone, especially this generation, since we're the
Mhm.
transition from like the internet, like beginning of the internet to what we are technology now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
And
it
I
goes
feel
in hand with like that whole blessing and curse of social media. Like it's a curse because it affects our mental and like our like self-image and stuff. Like there's
yeah.
so many downsides, but just like that those positive sides that contribute to why we're still on it, just like connectivity and like the perform like not performative, the correct activism and just like getting important messages out there is, I don't know, is why it's still so powerful, you know?
yeah.
Mhm. So with that said about like Emma, oh my god, hello, Emma Chamberlain, and like being more self-aware about our mentals and stuff like that, I definitely feel like your younger generation kind of open that door more about talking about it more on social media. I know Emma definitely does that. Like when she has a mental breakdown, she like tells us about it. She says, "Oh, I've just cried for the past 2 hours," and I'm like, "Oh my god, same." So like being able to like talk about that more openly, I definitely feel like your generation has done that a lot. So
But like social media is such a big part, and like just media in general is part of our culture, if you know what I mean. And it's kind of what we have and what we're taught from,
Yeah.
mhm.
because of course everyone's taught from their parents and like teachers, but mostly parents. And like partying, drugs and stuff like that, it's of course impacted by social media of like who does it, but at the same time what their reaction is from parents as well as just who lets them do it in front of them.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like there's a really gray area with that because like are you taking it like you could take advantage of your parents too much or like you could be too lenient and then of course if you're too strict you just raise rebels.
I mean, okay, of course COVID just made people just horny. I'm just gonna be honest. People just
Everyone's super lonely and like
are
online
horny.
horny. It's like horny on Maine. Like it's crazy.
But like before, I would say like people would have sex and like people didn't know, but then everyone found out, obviously. But then it's just shocking because at my age, I would think sex is stupid. Like for me, like personally, sex is stupid, and like you really put that much trust into someone to do things with you and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's literally how I thought at your age. Like, I don't know, hookup culture scared me back then too. It's like always been a thing, you know. And like when I was talking about there's gray areas, people would say they hooked up, and I didn't. I literally went on the internet to try to find out what that meant, and everything was different. Hookup could mean anywhere from your like just making out to straight up having sex to like like just
butt
doing
stuff.
oral or something. Like it's a whole range of things. So
Yeah,
I never knew like, oh, like we hooked up for the first time. Did what? How? Like, and I think that's it's like that on purpose, so people don't have to like disclose everything. But like, yeah, I saw the same thing. I was like, I don't know how people could be that trusting, because like, I don't know, I was scared by my like anatomy classes about like STIs and stuff, and I was
True.
like, that's how you're just gonna go out there and just like touch anybody not knowing their history. Like, yeah, people can ask straight up, but
I
I got
think I
Well,
was
to,
just scared to get in trouble by my mom. Like,
true.
oh
oh
my
yeah, for sure.
And
my
like
mom.
I think that's what another thing is, like you mentioned like those like types of like make like hookups, but like now it's more of sexting hookups and
Ooh.
just nudes
Oh,
to each
because of
other
quarantine.
because of
Oh.
quarantine. There
Whoa. I didn't even think about how like I thought about a little bit of like how COVID affected like dating and hookup culture, like Tinder and stuff. Like people, there was like articles and like videos about like how people interact and actually get to know people a lot more, instead of just like a one time like
yeah,
what's it called? A one
hookup.
nighter or whatever.
One night
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah, one night stand. And then now it's more about like conversation and weird shit, and I guess sexting, which I didn't even.
But that's more of like the teens now that I think about it, is like more of sexting instead of actually getting to know each other. Cause like in all honesty, I would rather get to know someone and be or like find someone who I can trust compared to like going just for it because I think they're cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just to reassure you though, there's other people your age that think like that too. Just, I hope you don't think that everyone's just like out here fing and sending nudes. Like,
True, true, true.
there's hella people that think like you still,
Yeah,
True.
you
definitely.
know.
Nudes are scary.
I agree.
Facts.
Yeah, no
Same.
shame in it, but like I could never.
I know. I haven't and I can't. It's just not like how do I just it's not like it makes me cringe even just like thinking about it. Like I
Yeah,
mean for girls who
Yeah.
can like go off, I don't know how, but go off. But
Oh,
me
yeah,
like,
personally, I'm just like not it's not my
yeah.
vibe.
But like
yeah.
now you think about it, like OnlyFans is a thing.
Oh.
Oh my God. No. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Let's jump into this, because I'm
Okay.
so jealous of the girls
I
making millions of dollars in a week.
Dude, okay, I have a story so we can start it off. I was
Go off.
actually just talking to my friend today and she was like scrolling on Twitter and she saw that her sister retweeted this one chick that they went to high school with and they played like some sport together or whatever and she found out she had an OnlyFans and she posted on her Twitter like um her titties out, her ass hanging out. And my friend sent it to me. I was like, oh my God, like go off. But like, why are you showing that for free on your Twitter? Like, shouldn't you be like covering it and then posting it on the OnlyFans? But I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy. Because like from her perspective, it's like she used to play sports with this chick and now she's like making money on OnlyFans.
Dude,
I was like,
for real.
I wish I could, but I'm shy.
I feel like I have a feeling like the reason why she did that was so she could get engagement for other people to actually
Yeah.
subscribe to it.
Yeah. When you post things on like your main or something, or like your public profiles, it's like
Yeah.
you can either do the censoring thing, so like you're naked and just like put like stickers or whatever on like the important parts or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like they it's like a trap. It's like a thirst
It's a
trap. So they like
third
put
trap.
that out there so much. So
But
you're like, damn, like I want to see it in action or something, you know?
oh my God, her titties
But
were
they're
so
making
big.
I've seen screenshots of people's incomes for a week on OnlyFans, and
Yeah.
I'm like, whole like 6-7 figures. I kid you not, in a week. No, I think that's another thing between like our like us being in high school and you being in high school. Our joke was like, oh my gosh, we're just gonna drop out and become strippers. But now people are like, I'm gonna go to school and do
And
OnlyFans. Like you can do both, like, and make hella money without leaving
but
your
at the
house.
same
It's
time,
amazing.
you kind of are like scared because like, what if your school finds out about this and stuff like that? But like,
Yeah.
how would they react to it? Is because like, isn't that like your way of doing your college tuition or like getting your money for your college tuition? But like at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, isn't that kind of terrifying?
I think the culture is changing though. But yeah, there's a lot of policies like public and like corporate policies in place, because I think I saw an article, like a video article, whatever, a couple months ago about a nurse. Or was it a
No, I saw
nurse?
No,
that.
it was a nurse. It was a nurse
It was
from
a
New York,
nurse who
right?
got, I think so, who got called out for being on OnlyFans. It's like she has to pay for school and shit. I don't know, like
Yeah.
how are you gonna break down someone's way of living and like
No,
income.
exactly.
So that's crazy. Yeah.
And honestly, what's kind of okay, I wouldn't say it's cool, but like what's kind of cool of like OnlyFans is like people watch what they want to watch. And like that's how
Yeah.
they make the money. And like it's not like YouTube or like social media where it's like they can hate you for it or like hate on you for it compared to OnlyFans where it's people who like you.
Yeah, how are you gonna be mad when you went through all this like subscription and like payment method to get there? Like unless you're truly disappointed, it's like it was clickbait or something, but
Yeah.
you set yourself up for
Bellator.
it. Yeah. Oh.
Wait, what the is LinkedIn? You literally asked like you talked about it and I'm like, what the is it?
It's just like another form of social media, I guess, but to connect with like your employers or like even like your past classmates, your peers, and stuff like that. Just to like update
Yeah.
people in your life, but about your job.
It literally sucks. But like what we were talking about, how social media is so important to people's lives now, they literally made a social platform, a social professional platform.
And you can
Yeah.
actually apply to jobs on LinkedIn as well.
I've heard
It
about that
sucks.
part.
It could get so toxic so fast because all people post are their highlights of like their professional career. And like that, of course, like the same thing with Instagram. It's like the highlights of people's like vacations and shit like that. Like it's like proctored. It's like all for show. So it gets really toxic. Like, oh, like this person just got a promotion, or this person just volunteered at a nonprofit, like, which is all great shit. It's just like if that's all I see and I'm sitting on my ass in bed, like I feel like shit.
I feel like that's not even like motivational at this point. It's more of degradational. That's not a word.
Degrading.
Degrading.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's more
it could, but
degrading.
it also can be really helpful because it does connect you with people that you would never connect for. It's like a weird like
Facebook.
cesspool
It's
of
basically
like
a Facebook.
no, it's like a sorority or fraternity. It's like that type of like networking where you like need that networking, but you like have to find your
Why
way in
couldn't
it.
it would have been so great if you didn't have to be able to like post about things. Like if you everyone could just like update their profile of like, oh, I'm currently working here. I have this and this qualifications. But if you didn't have to like I'm not trying to be like bitter. Like I'm not mad that those people got a promotions or whatever, but like it's just like another form of social media that stresses me out because people are
Wait. So
so
basically, they made a social media thing just for blogging, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, like
yeah,
professional blogging, just to talk about
professional.
your work life. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pretty
So the dumbest
much.
thing I've ever heard. It's like kind of another thing that social media does is it either motivates you to be someone better or just makes you degrade yourself and think about your own life and think negatively. And oh my gosh,
Oh
it's
my
just
god.
Yeah.
harder that way.
Yeah. Like I guess it would make it easier to connect with like my past employees if I need to like tell them I'm putting them down for a reference. But like as far as just like it just felt like when I was like adding more people on my LinkedIn to show that I have connections because I guess that's what they call that's what they call it, connections.
Yeah.
But like it just felt like I was back in high school, like adding people like as my friends, like just worrying about the number of connections I have because like the max you can get is like 500 plus connections. And like I'm not saying that's necessarily like a good thing, but it just makes me feel that way. Like the more connections you have, like the better your profile is because you know more people. So it just
And
stresses me out.
It's really weird. I hope it like gets better and more just like stable. I don't know. And I've like we're not the only ones to talk about this. I've talked to other people our age, like me and Kia's age, obviously, like because we were kind of like forced onto it. Like I just made one last year because I took a specific class for like career development and planning or whatever. And they were like, yeah, to be successful in the real world, whatever, like the workforce, you have to have a LinkedIn or you're irrelevant. And I was like, what the hell even? Like
Yeah.
for our
Wait,
generation and like following like you guys, but like for our parents or something, of course this shit didn't exist. But now because of the social or the digital age, you have to be on LinkedIn. And I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Like it was weird. Like resumes don't cut it anymore.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, was this like kind of because okay, I'm gonna be honest. You guys went to private school. Was it because you went to private school? You guys had to do it because I go to public school and like I've never heard of LinkedIn until like maybe this year because let's just go. I was stalking someone, but whatever. But still,
Don't we all? Oh, that's another
Yeah.
thing. I definitely stalk people on LinkedIn to see if like how they progress in life. Not
Yeah.
healthy, but I do it.
Um, I don't think
But in
in
terms
high
of being in
school.
private, no, yeah, I didn't. I think that's the first time I heard it in high school, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to need that because I only do like part time retail and stuff like that. Like it wasn't anything in my career. But
Mhm.
Kia went to an online, what the hell, a public university, and I'm pretty sure that's where you heard about it too, right?
I don't know. No one really talked. I think it was like literally towards the end of senior year, and my friend. Well, I'm sure I knew about it, but I didn't have a profile yet until like what is it? Oh my god, January 2021. I think I made one like in July 2020, like when I just started
I
applying
think
to
we made one
jobs.
around the same time, yeah. But I think so yeah, at this rate, because of like our age and the people we're surrounded with now, and like the whatever professional type of people we talk to now, it's word of mouth mostly. But and I didn't really, and yeah, I never made it until I took that specific class. It was like a 2 credit class. I didn't need it. I wanted to take it because I was like, oh, it'd be great. It sounds great. Like let me prepare for my career. So it was like interview prep and stuff, whatever. But that's the first time I like officially put more effort into my LinkedIn account, and like I don't even go on it anymore. It's like I'm not getting as much use out of it as like other people do. I feel like it's really good if you have like a business, like your own business, or if you're like in tech or something. But other than that, like I don't think it's as influential and groundbreaking as people need it to you can still like use basic things like Indeed. But
Jobs are gonna be so interesting now that I think about it.
But no, yeah, it was definitely a struggle finding this big girl job that I'm at now. I think I applied to like 70 plus jobs before I finally landed this one. So it's definitely a process and it's not
yeah.
easy, especially with like COVID and everything. I'm definitely blessed to have gotten this job.
Yeah, it's such a weird time because even out of college in general,
Mhm.
it's hard to find a job.
Yeah.
Like period, no matter what field you're getting into. But yeah, that transition to full time is just super awkward right out of college because even one of my college professors, like the one who taught, or I've had her in so many classes, but she was also the one for the career and exploration and planning. That's what it's called. um, she's obviously a professor now, but like I think she was adjunct or something, but she was like, guys, I had to be real with you. Like this wasn't like my plan A. Like I applied to like I think yeah, like 50 different schools or something, and I only heard back from like two. One was here in California, so the university I went to,
Yep.
and then one was like in like cold ass state like Nebraska or something. She was like, I've never been in the snow. She was born and raised in SoCal. She was like, that's not gonna be my vibe. So she just took the one she got. But she
Yeah.
had to go through so many things. And like I feel like that's not talked about enough. Like it's a normal thing and people shouldn't get down on like I applied to 50 plus jobs and I heard back from two. Like, yeah, it sucks, but you're not alone. Like everyone goes through it. And I wish it was just more of a conversation of everyone goes through it, you know?
No,
Like
yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
know that when I was 18 and I wish I did.
I
Yeah.
honestly just feel like there should be, okay, I know this is kind of dumb, but there should be like a class just how to live life and
Period.
how to make your own decisions. Even though like of course there's those resources in like schools and like at my school at least, but like I would rather have a class to have it like to learn about it, because if I had to take like time out of my, I mean, take the time out of my own day just to go to like this resource center for like to learn about my own life or like to think about my own future, it kind of just took away like me doing other things. So if I
Yeah.
had like a class for it, it would have been so much more
Yeah.
helpful.
And imagine like you not to like to put down your experience, but considering you had that time, imagine like all those people your age who don't, you know? And I feel and that's weird because I don't know when they stopped doing this or if they still do it in like some parts of the nation or whatever, but I feel like they used to do a lot more classes like that, like home economics and like things like that. Cause my sister, when she was in 8th grade, she learned how to like knit and sew and all this shit. And like I never learned any like and there was like woodworking class and stuff. And like I never
Yeah.
learned any of that shit. I don't know when they stopped that. But that's also when they started pushing us a lot more into technology. Like I had like a computer lab and she didn't because of the generation. Like so she learned how to sew and I learned how to code. So like what the hell? It's like what they prioritize in school now.
Yeah. And like you mentioned like knitting and stuff like that. That's the thing I had to learn on my own or like had to do
Exactly.
myself because I for my club I'm in, we literally had a knitting drive, and I had to learn from scratch. Not scratch, like, you know what I mean? But like, I had
Yeah.
to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I learned
Yeah,
how to
like more
knit in
life
like
skills.
yeah, in elementary school, but like when my dad talks about it, he said he like had to take it in like um in high school, and I was like, where was that for us?
Yeah. Like I know there's
Uh,
still PE and stuff, but I know people who like never had a swimming class. And like if you take swimming classes outside of like school or something, they're expensive as hell. So like when are people going to learn to like swim? It's like literally a life skill. Like what the
no,
hell?
yeah.
But
Like
I don't know. And like cooking classes, there were cooking classes at my sister's middle school too. Like we went to the same middle school, but that's the transition of like by the time I got to her age, they didn't have that anymore. And I was learning how to code on computers literally. It was a weird transition. I was like, wow, you know how to make blankets and pillows and like fix holes in shirts and make a shirt. And I know how to like make a website. Like what the hell is that going to do for me?
I was just gonna mention like how kind of different it is with like private schools and like public schools. And now that I think about it, is like private schools have a lot of funding.
Yeah, no, we have so many resources. And like that's one thing about like if you can like it also depends where in the country because there's always like people literally move to certain cities because they have a like whatever better public school system or something. So
mhm.
I don't know, it's just kind of fucked up that like some people just depending on locations and income, if you can like get a better education versus like the one across the street, like it's weird.
Like you meant, like you saying that, it literally is me going to the school I go to now is because the only reason why I went to that school was because they had band. But
Convenience, yeah.
and like even though it's like 15 minutes away from my house compared to like a school that's literally 2 minutes away from me, I chose to go to the school farther away from me just because of the extracurriculars. But then doing that, I was able to find like a path for me, kind of. I actually want to know, Kia, you're a communications major, correct?
Sometimes. No, yeah, I am.
What the
Like, how was that for you? Because like, I want to go into that maybe. I mean, I could always change my major, but still, maybe.
No, yeah, definitely. I feel like it's definitely helpful because I definitely mentioned that I'm a communications major on my resume, and I mentioned some of the classes that I took, like interpersonal or nonverbal communication, because of like I was applying to different fields. I mean, different jobs where like the way I communicate definitely affected whether or not I was going to get the job. So I made sure to like mention those classes. Um, but like with that, it also prepared me for like the kind of questions um, that the people would ask me because I was definitely nervous at first, because I just get nervous in general, especially like for communications public speaking classes. Like, oh, those were the worst. And it was at first really nerve wracking in the beginning, thinking like, oh, they're going to ask me like what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. But my auntie definitely like helped talk me through it and be like, just like, yourself, like what your strengths are, what your weaknesses, but just coming up with like different situations from the work experience that I did have. And like, if I have those situations in my mind, then, then it's like pretty easy. Um, but like, yeah, just it takes practice when it comes to like interviews. But yeah, I feel like definitely having a communications major helps me out through that. And I have practiced with MJ before, so she definitely
Yeah, no,
knows.
we've all yeah, lucky we have like very supportive friends and everything so, who like take helping each other seriously. So we run through our things every now and then.
Yeah.
Um are
Have you
you
practiced at all?
yeah, how's your thing? Like communications major, not like just practice,
Well, I mean, not well. Okay, I'm just gonna expose it anyways, even though I don't care.
Oh,
We're for my club. We're doing a documentary with teachers and students. Basically, there's been a divide basically with teachers and students because of the pandemic, where parents think teachers are selfish because they don't want to go to school and risk their own health, whereas like, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to open my mouth like that.
And then there's students that are like, teachers don't understand me. They give me so much work. This is too hard for me. I don't want to do this, and like stuff like that. And basically, this whole documentary is just to make a bridge, kind of, and connection with teachers and students, and make them feel a little less alone, but as well as just make them feel something together.
Yeah, maybe
Because
be aware that there is a divide, and like how to, like, at least the first step into fix it, like finding a solution, is addressing it. And that's
yeah,
crazy that you're doing this and you're graduating in like less than 6 months. Like, you guys are barely even doing it for you. You're doing it for like the school environment and for everyone to follow you guys. That's crazy.
like
That's awesome.
Yeah. Leaving your mark, you know?
yeah, and it's kind of just something as myself is this is where the communications and media kind of side of me is like this is where I want to lead my path to is leading with documentaries or just doing news broadcasting stuff like that. And that's where like practicing and interviewing people got like scary at first because I never did interviews, but then I was fine with it at first. I mean, I was scared, of course, but fine with I was like getting the groove and things and stuff like that. And I had to interview teachers that my own like advisor told me to be like interviewing like people from SoCal and like teachers from SoCal.
Wow.
And I was so scared to talk to them, but like luckily like they were friends with my advisor and just having like that like some kind of like oh this is who they are, some background stories, stuff like that. But either way, like it was still terrifying to be like meeting someone you've never seen before in like
Of course.
a few minutes and then interview them for a good 30 minutes, even though like the whole interview ends up being like an hour to 2 hours. And it's
Mhm.
like because it's good conversations
Yeah.
and it just leads on one and then one on top of each other. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the circumstance could not like get heated, but there could be like some awkwardness and some tension because like you're kind of like you're exposing like people's emotions and make like if they end up being vulnerable, it's like it could be like a scary situation. So I feel like that's a really big step in like getting that practice with communications is through like an eye-opening documentary. So that's like the fact that you're like already thinking about doing that in college and pursuing that is like a really good deal. Not that you have to commit to it. Like
Of
honestly,
course.
for most people, I would say that they should probably go undeclared and like do like a lot of their prereqs and stuff. Cause one of the prereqs is public speaking anyway. So you'll kind of get a sense of what you want to do in communications when you take public speaking and oral communication and things like that, like those prereqs. But yeah, the fact that you have a plan and like you're starting with it before you even leave high school is like amazing. I changed my major 3 times and I wish I went in undeclared.
Oh
Well,
my god,
officially twice,
same.
actually. I
Oh,
think twice. I ended up with sociology and I have no regrets. It's the best thing I've ever done.
I was
But
gonna do
and I did that like in my
kinesiology.
second year.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, we are the same.
So it's never too late to like, but the
Of course.
fact that like you're getting like great like oral skills and just like, do we exemplify what you think it would be like being at like 22, 23?
For
So I feel like
20,
I
22.
feel like when I was your age, it was like, I don't know, like early 20s and mid 20s, like looked like foreign to me. Like I would never get there. Like I don't even know how to get there.
I think it's more of I see people who want to be themselves. And
Oh my God, where were you when I was your age? I like needed this guidance at
like
18.
like my family plays a big part of who I am, not just because of bad experiences with family like as a child. Not bad experiences like a child like oh like I had a good childhood. It's just of course those are
You went
bad
through shit.
experiences. I went through shit. And basically family was a big part of me, especially since my brother and I were the youngest ones. Most of them are older than me and like
Right.
already in like their 20s and like doing like grown stuff. I see them who they want to be as. Like, of course, I have my cousin who's trying to be like my aunt who cousin slash aunt. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe it, but like
Basically your sister.
no.
Okay, we're
Oh,
not
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the
yeah.
same
No, no,
person.
no, 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 no. You're right. You're
You
right. Yeah, yeah,
stupid.
you're right. You're right. She's
Oh my
basically
god.
like my sister. She's
Yeah.
basically like my sister. Like, she's struggling, of course, because she's working a job at the same time being a nurse. And then I
Mm-hmm.
have my oldest cousin. She's like a freaking pharmacist. Like, are you kidding me? She's a
Yeah, everyone's
doctor.
at very different stages in your family and just like
And my
Yeah.
and my own sister, she has a baby. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
I see people who they want to be, and that's kind of just the way I kind of want to live my life. Is how I view you is important, but at the same time is the way I view you, if you know what I mean.
No, that's awesome. Cause yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it is, but in the most simplest terms. Like, cause that's why we all look like we're on different journeys, because we are on our own journeys, but it's like, it's at different stages in our journey, you know? So it's just like me at 23 is not going to be the same as like your pharmacist cousin at 23, you know? She was on a very different path than I was. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we're literally all hella different, which is, yeah. So it's, oh my God, I love this family. But no, I just wanted to see, I just wanted to see what you had like in that plan, because like your future is coming up. You're like maybe 5 more years into like education and like, or like formal education in school. And then like, you're going to be us,
Oh my
unemployed.
gosh.
Like, I
Unemployed,
mean,
first time job.
with my idea of going into a communications major, of course, media is in my head, like film and like documentaries, but like also actual social media and like
Mhm.
journalism, stuff like that. I kind of want to be more involved with media and with communications aside with it, because I want to be a, a change and like influence others, because yeah, I'm not going to be like Emma Chamberlain at 16 who got popular because
Right.
who got
Different
like a
path,
viral
man.
video. But at the same time, I want to be a person who can influence others and stuff like that. And just having to learn that for like schooling and stuff like that, like that's helpful. But at the same time, like, will it actually help me for my future? But
Yeah.
you never know until it actually happens.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
Wow.
No, I'm just like, not to be corny and not to like whatever, all three of us and like everyone I know is exactly where they need to be, like at the time they need to be. So it's fine. Even if you're like at the bottom of the barrel, like just like at the worst point, rock bottom of your life, like you're there for a reason right now. Not like your fault reason, but like
yeah.
you're there because you need to be right now and you're gonna make it out. I'm excited that you're going to college. I miss school.
Oh gosh, same.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
don't
It's a
know.
simpler time. College is great. Community or whatever you do, even if you don't go to college, like 18 to 22 is like a time.
Oh no. No,
No.
oh
You're
my
not
gosh. Now that I think
excited?
about it, no, I'm excited. It's more of realities coming.
Oh, for sure. But
Big
when
like
you're,
big boy realities coming.
yeah, but when you're in it, it's not as scary as you think it is. Just looking forward at it is scarier. Because like even like, I don't know, I can speak for Kia, but like looking at past graduation was more scary than being in post graduation.
Say
You
that again.
know, like our goal was graduating and you're like
Mm.
anticipating your grades and you're like scared about graduating, but like once you're there, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Oh, after. I thought you were
Yes.
talking about like applying for jobs and like
Oh my gosh, applying. Oh
now.
my god, applying for colleges was stressful at the same time terrifying. Um,
Mhm.
of course, I'm the
Oh,
student
that
who.
was so bad.
Of course, I was the student who turned it in like the night before, or like 2 days, or even the day of. But no,
It's okay. I did
like,
mine late too.
at the same time, I'm like, at least I did it. I feel
Yeah.
accomplished, because that was like kind of a big part of my whole senior year. Kind of was applying for colleges, and
Mhm.
also just, oh my gosh, I haven't done my so many things, but it's okay. But just having to apply for colleges is kind of just like a big move, because I'm so smart sometimes. I applied to University of Washington. Like, it's because I love Seattle, and it reminds me of San Francisco, just more expensive, and also it's
True.
just just like the environment there is so nice, and just you have nature all around you. Like, of course California has nature, but like it's a different type of environment and just vibe.
It's a different kind of city vibe, but it's
Yeah,
definitely yeah.
like, of course, like,
Same but different.
yeah, it's like an urban city, but like beautiful in a way.
Yeah. No,
And
I
like,
definitely feel that.
I visited University of Washington. Like I didn't like have a full on tour, but like I was in a car and like we just drove around the campus and it was kind of cool like just seeing like if this could be my future or not.
Yeah. The same thing with college as I feel jobs, at least the interview portion of a job, like it's all based on vibes. If you don't have a good vibe at that college or looking at it or researching it, or if you don't have a good vibe about the work or the job place or whatever, it's like it just might not be your thing.
Oh boy, was I so close to applying to Boise State and Oklahoma.
I don't bless your soul that you didn't.
Bless your
Good thing we
soul.
got past that. I want to end on a really corny thing. Are you guys down? It's like
What
a
is
little
it?
game, just a little bit.
What is
Right.
it?
I want Jaden to say advice for his 22-year-old self, and I want me and Kia to give advice to our 18-year-old self. Since it's like you're kind of 18-ish, you know. Who wants to go
Brother.
first? Because I don't.
Brother.
Quick,
Like,
short,
fine,
go
I
first
don't know.
and
I
spur
don't
of
want
the
to go
moment.
first. I don't want to go first. Let Kia
Oh,
go
damn.
first.
Mine involves a bad word.
Go off.
Go off.
Okay, so for me, I think a message I would say to my 18-year-old self is just to send it. Like, I mean, I made it here to Oregon. I was able to, transition from community college to um, a 4-year college. And, before I was thinking like, I didn't think it was, not that I didn't like believe in myself, but like, it's possible if I just like kept myself motivated. I worked throughout college. I had my family support. So like, whatever you do, just full on send it.
No, yeah. I mean, that's like literally because it's weird because I knew Kia at 18. So the fact that I know her entire pathing till now, it's like that's exactly what she needed to hear the entire time, which is crazy. It's really corny, but I'm glad you went first because it helped me try to think of what I wanted to say. But it's along the same lines of like, don't stress so much. I think I over stress much. And like I literally started the podcast talking about I get overwhelmed easily and I put too much on my plate, but it's kind of similar to send it in the way that it's whatever happens happens. Like
Yeah.
stop stressing about things that are out of your control and do the things that you can that are in your control. Just like if you can find a solution, like do more actionable things instead of like complaining about it or just like worrying about it. Just like focus on the things that you can take action and do something to progress forward from it. And you'll get where you need to go. Because if it'll happen, it'll happen.
Damn, I needed that. No, because what like having a lot of things on my plate, kind of like what you said, is like all of it's just like stress all over you. Like you have to carry your own weight basically, and
It's temporary, bro. It's you get so me and Kia talk about it all the time. Like we were the most stressed in high school and we don't even know why. Because college was so much easier than we thought. It was that one like junior, senior year of high school, we were like the most stressed, SATs, APs, whatever. And it was like temporary. Like I think about that now and like I didn't need that stress. Even like a grade in a class, like, oh my God, I have a C plus. Like, how am I gonna bring that up to a B minus? But it was like that was one moment, like 1 month of your life that you were just stressed. And it does not affect me now in 2020, 2021.
I feel like I'm more stressed now because, like you mentioned, the SAT, it's not really involved in schools now.
Yeah, COVID, because you can't physically take the
I
test in
can't
person.
physically take the test. So that's what I'm more scared of, is not being accepted because, well, okay, obviously they asked like, oh, if you take the test or not, it's optional. Obviously it's optional because not everyone was able to take it. But what was scaring me is that means more people are going to apply to schools, is because the SAT was a thing that more students were scared of, because theoretically I knew a lot of people were stressed about the SAT and like afraid of like what's going to happen, stuff like that. But if the SAT isn't involved in like the application process now, that means more people are more likely to get accepted or try and apply to the schools that they think they couldn't get into because of the SAT.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because with COVID and stuff, I feel like the parameters for admissions is going to be so much different than it has been ever before.
And I think a lot of the schools are going to cancel like SATs forever, because if you think about it, a test score
It's not a good, it's
a
not a good
test score
tell of
doesn't
someone's
define a person.
intelligence. Yeah.
But like I was just gonna say, like a letter doesn't define a person. Like that's like
His are better than all his answers are better than ours.
God, sorry, mine is just send it.
No, but like,
I'm gonna quit the podcast. You can have your own.
but like, I was just gonna say, like, a letter doesn't define a person's personality or their life and like their personal insights as well as just their struggles compared to someone writing it down on an essay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just having a conversation is so much more important than seeing their grade, you know? That's why interviews, just going off topic again, but that's why college interviews are more prominent now, because they're like, what the hell? I don't care that you got straight A's. Are you like a nice person?
Yeah.
But I guess the advice for myself for the future is honestly be more chill than who I was now, and just find the thing that makes you the happiest, I would say. And oh my gosh, I was like, I'm gonna keep rambling because like with myself mentally, of course, I wasn't there. I'm not here. I'm just so out of it and like just trying to stay strong for others instead of myself. And I think for the future, I would rather find something that helps me and also just be the person I want to be and not let others affect it no matter what. And because we mentioned basically like this whole thing, social media is such a big part of my generation, sort of. And it's just hard having everything be impacted all into one. Like, I just want to find my happiness no matter what. And also, always make a career path and make a difference. I'm like saying this as like, oh, this is for you. Like,
No,
like,
I feel that.
Not
I
me
feel like
crying right now.
the way that like you said that you needed to hear what we said, like I don't care how old me and Kia get, like that's things that we need to like keep telling ourselves, just chill and like I don't yeah, no, I we also need I don't can't speak for Kia. I also needed to hear that.
No, yeah.
You helped.
Love that.
Well put. I feel like everyone our age and like our generation just needs to take better care of themselves. Like,
True.
oh my God, if you ever need advice, don't hit up me or Kia, just hit up Jaden.
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be a therapist in another life. Who knows? There's like, I needed to
Another
hear
career
all of that.
path?
Like 3 minors.
I'm not even joking. Like, counseling was in my head for like a hot second.
Minors
So
are there
possible.
for a reason. Whatever your
Exactly.
interest, your college is based on your interests.
True.
Thanks for anyone who stuck it through to the end. If you listen to this in segments or something, just shout out because we went in.
We went ham.
And I'm proud of us. Good job. Love you
Love
all. Good job. But I do think that's about it for this week's episode. Before we start rambling, we're probably gonna have an off podcast conversation right after this because we're in it. But Kia, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so, but thank you guys for listening and see you next time.
Jaden, do you have anything else to add? She's like, okay, I forgot we have a guest.
Oh my God, I'm so
as
sorry.
our first official guest, first of all, thank you. But do you have anything else to like close off your first and hopefully not last appearance on Dude No Way?
I would say be true to who you want to be and love yourselves.
You heard it here first.
Love yourself.
Thanks for listening and see you guys next time.